Have you ever questioned whether the foods you've always been told are beneficial might actually harm you as you age? For many older adults, seemingly harmless habits, like eating fruits such as bananas, avocados, and oranges, could significantly impact their health. In this video, we'll explore the surprising truths about potassium-rich foods and why they might be particularly harmful for seniors, especially those dealing with kidney disease or impaired kidney function. As we grow older, our bodies undergo transformations, and foods once deemed healthy may no longer be as advantageous as we thought. If you're over 60, it's crucial to understand how certain foods, commonly perceived as beneficial, could affect your well-being. From the everyday banana to the nutrient-rich avocado, the foods we cherish could cause significant health issues when consumed in large quantities. This video will guide you on how to effectively manage your diet, protect your heart, maintain healthy muscles, and generally take care of your body as you age. By the end, you'll know which fruits to avoid, how to balance your potassium intake properly, and the importance of regular medical checkups to preserve your health. Additionally, you'll learn the best time of day to eat fruit, which will improve both your digestion and energy levels. If you want to take care of your health, extend your life, and avoid common aging-related conditions, this information is essential for you. Before we begin, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss upcoming videos. Your support means a lot to me. If you find this content helpful, give it a like and share it to help others learn these essential skills. Also, if you enjoy the content, leave me a 1 to let me know. If you'd like to see improvements or adjustments in future videos, leave a comment with a 0 and let me know how I can make it even better for you. Perfect, now that we've covered the introduction, let's dive in. Mr. John Thompson was surprised and concerned to discover that a habit he had maintained for years, eating bananas as his go-to snack, might be negatively affecting his health. For as long as he could remember, bananas had been a symbol of well-being for him. He thought they were the ideal snack, rich in vitamins and minerals, easy to grab, and quite filling. However, over time, John began to notice unusual symptoms that started to worry him. Aches, persistent fatigue, and slight changes in his body caught his attention. His previously infrequent doctor visits became increasingly regular as his health seemed to decline. John was forced to face a hard truth: certain foods he had always trusted and considered healthy might actually be contributing to his health problems. He could no longer ignore the signs his body was giving him. It was as if his body was no longer responding the same way to the diet that had worked so well before. The more he thought about it, the more he realized how much his body had changed over time and how crucial it was to rethink how he cared for himself. Before continuing, remember to like this video if you're enjoying it and subscribe to the channel for the best advice on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move on. It's possible that foods once considered healthy are no longer beneficial, especially because with age, the body loses the ability to absorb certain nutrients. John's heart sank as he realized that something as simple as a banana, long seen as a healthy choice, might be doing him more harm than he thought. This realization prompted him to visit his doctor to better understand how his nutritional needs had changed and what adjustments he needed to make to support his transforming body. The doctor explained that bananas were just one piece of the puzzle. Many fruits, even those John had regarded as essential to a healthy diet, could be dangerous for older adults, particularly those with kidney issues or compromised kidney function. It became clear that, as we age, it's essential to approach the foods we eat with caution that we may not have considered before. It's no longer enough to know what is good for health, we must also understand what is safe for our changing bodies. The health of the kidneys, which had never been a major concern for John in his youth, became a central focus in his life. As we age, our internal organs and systems, including the kidneys, undergo gradual changes that affect their normal functioning. For this reason, older adults must exercise caution when choosing fruits. Over time, selecting the right fruits becomes an essential aspect of personal care, especially when kidney health is compromised. To fully grasp the significance of these changes, it is crucial to understand the role of potassium in the body. Potassium not only acts as a nutrient but also serves as a key electrolyte that supports various vital functions. It helps regulate muscle contractions, enabling smooth and energetic movements, and plays a critical role in maintaining a steady heart rhythm, protecting against arrhythmias that could lead to severe heart problems. Young and healthy individuals require potassium to regulate blood pressure, reduce the risk of strokes, and ensure proper heart function. However, as time passes, particularly after the age of 70, the body's ability to manage potassium levels begins to decline. The kidneys, which are responsible for eliminating excess potassium, start to deteriorate due to reduced functionality. The body struggles to remove the excess potassium, which can accumulate in the bloodstream, posing a significant risk. Elevated potassium levels in the blood can never be emphasized enough as potentially dangerous. When potassium levels in the body exceed what it can handle, various health issues may arise, ranging from irregular heart rhythms to muscle weakness and even paralysis in extreme cases. Excess potassium can pose a life-threatening risk to the heart and other vital organs. Understanding the importance of potassium and its impact on the body over time was a revelation for John and other older adults. His doctor stressed the need to monitor potassium intake, especially as kidney function starts to decline. For someone like John, it wasn't just about cutting back on bananas, it required a complete transformation of his diet and overall approach to wellness. Over time, it was a tough lesson, but one accompanied by a renewed sense of urgency. As we age, our health becomes more fragile, and every choice becomes increasingly critical. Let's delve into a topic that, while seemingly simple, carries significant implications for older adults. Why should people over 70 avoid eating bananas or consume them only in limited portions? For a long time, bananas have been considered the quintessential healthy snack, praised for their simplicity and high potassium content. Most of us view them as high-quality fruits, packed with natural sweetness and benefits. However, as the years go by, even seemingly harmless foods can present hidden risks. Something as simple as a banana can become problematic, especially for older adults. Bananas, a commonly consumed food in many households, provide around 358 milligrams of potassium per 100 g. A medium-sized banana, weighing approximately 120 g, contains about 430 milligrams of potassium. For individuals under 70 years old, consuming 1 or 2 bananas daily generally poses no issues. However, for older adults, eating 2 bananas per day provides around 860 milligrams of potassium, which is a considerable amount. The problem lies here: for those with adequate kidney function, this amount of potassium is not a significant concern. The kidneys effectively process potassium, allowing the body to maintain appropriate levels of this essential nutrient with little effort. However, as we age, the kidneys lose their ability to filter out excess substances like potassium. As kidney function declines, the body struggles to eliminate potassium efficiently, leading to its accumulation in the blood. This can be particularly harmful for older adults. High potassium levels can result in severe effects, such as irregular heart rhythms, palpitations, extreme fatigue, muscle weakness, or even paralysis. In the most severe cases, excessive potassium buildup can lead to heart failure or other life-threatening complications. It is crucial for older adults to recognize that what is healthy is not always safe when consumed in excess. Even foods generally considered staples of a balanced diet, such as bananas, can become hazardous if eaten in large quantities. This is even more significant when kidney function is impaired. Not only is it essential to maintain a healthy diet, but it is also vital to do so consciously, understanding that while certain foods are nutritious, excessive consumption can be harmful. Taking care of health in later life requires this awareness. Therefore, it is crucial for older individuals to stay vigilant and work closely with healthcare professionals to tailor their diets to their evolving needs. Bananas are not the only potassium-rich foods that may pose risks to older adults. Other items like avocados and oranges also contain high amounts of this vital nutrient, but excessive consumption can have negative effects. For instance, avocados, often hailed as superfoods due to their healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, offer approximately 485 milligrams of potassium per 100 g, significantly more than a banana. While avocados can be beneficial when consumed in moderation, excessive intake may lead to dangerous potassium levels, particularly in individuals with kidney issues. Although these nutrient-rich foods provide numerous health benefits, excessive consumption can ultimately cause more harm than good. This underscores the need for careful balance to preserve health as we age. In conclusion, although bananas and other potassium-rich foods are considered beneficial for health, older adults should be cautious and aware of potential risks. It's not about completely eliminating certain foods but incorporating them in a balanced manner as part of a broader, more mindful approach to well-being as we age. This reminds us that, sometimes, less is more. Oranges, like other fruits, are often seen as symbols of wellness and vitality. They are an excellent source of vitamin C and antioxidants, making them highly valued for boosting the immune system and promoting good digestion. With every juicy bite, one can sense how nature nourishes the body, providing nutrients that help prevent various ailments. A 100-gram portion of orange provides around 181 milligrams of potassium, a key mineral for heart health and fluid regulation in the body. Consumed in moderation, this vibrant fruit is both tasty and healthy. However, as with many things in life, balance is key. While oranges offer numerous health benefits, excessive consumption can cause problems, particularly for older adults. This is especially relevant for those with kidney disease or who take medications affecting kidney function. Excess potassium in the body can accumulate in the bloodstream, posing a risk for older adults whose kidneys no longer work as efficiently as before. As we age, the ability to filter potassium diminishes, making it harder to regulate potentially dangerous levels. At this point, moderation plays a critical role. It's not that oranges or nutrient-rich foods like avocados are inherently harmful, rather, it's important to consider the quantity consumed and the specific health conditions of each individual. Risks increase for older adults, particularly those with pre-existing kidney issues. A proper, personalized nutritional plan is essential. It's not just about eliminating fruits or nutrients that might be harmful, but achieving a sustainable balance that nourishes the body without overburdening it. From my perspective, the value of a balanced diet for older adults lies in understanding their body's needs, no matter the significant changes they may have experienced in life. It's crucial to seek guidance from health experts who can provide the necessary support and recommendations to ensure that individuals not only consume potassium effectively but also maintain their overall well-being. With the right approach, older adults can continue enjoying simple pleasures, such as savoring a fresh, juicy orange, without compromising their health. Ultimately, health is a journey that requires reflection, balance, and a deep understanding of the specific needs that arise with age. Managing potassium intake in older adults. Potassium is not just any mineral, it's a crucial element for our existence. It plays a vital role in many essential functions we often take for granted, especially when we're young. This mineral helps regulate blood pressure, supports proper muscle and nerve function, and ensures the heart beats regularly. For older adults, controlling potassium intake is essential. As we age, natural changes in the body affect how we manage and assimilate minerals like potassium. Maintaining the right balance can be key to enjoying a healthy life or avoiding serious complications. Having an excess of potassium can be just as dangerous as lacking it. We must remember that our bodies are not always capable of absorbing the same amount of potassium as when we were younger. Elevated potassium levels, known as hyperkalemia, can be extremely harmful. They may lead to disruptions in the heart's rhythm, arrhythmias, which, if left untreated, could develop into serious and even life-threatening health problems. Muscle weakness, fatigue, and in more severe cases, kidney failure, are issues associated with a potassium imbalance. This isn't just about technical medical terms, it's about real risks that older adults face every day. To prevent these potential health emergencies, it's crucial for older adults to prioritize regular medical checkups. Monitoring potassium levels in the blood, along with kidney function, is essential for maintaining health and well-being. As we age, kidney function tends to decline gradually, making it harder for the body to eliminate excess potassium. This can lead to a buildup of potassium in the blood, a silent risk that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. By undergoing regular exams, we can detect these imbalances early and take action to restore balance before they lead to more significant problems. What truly strikes me is how easily older adults tend to neglect their diet while dealing with various health issues. While potassium intake may seem like a new concern, I assure you it doesn't have to be difficult to manage. Older adults can achieve better health balance by adopting simple and preventive habits, such as moderately incorporating potassium-rich foods into their diet and paying attention to kidney health. Foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, and leafy green vegetables are excellent sources of potassium, though they should be consumed cautiously, taking into account each individual's health status and needs. In conclusion, maintaining proper potassium levels isn't just about numbers, it's about living with vitality and preserving the health we've worked so hard to achieve. We can age with dignity by paying attention to how much potassium we consume, adjusting our diets if necessary, and undergoing regular medical checkups. Ultimately, it's about taking responsibility for your well-being, focusing on what matters most, and ensuring you're healthy enough to continue moving forward on life's path. After enjoying a peaceful dinner, the calm of the moment was interrupted by the vibration of my mobile phone. Upon checking the notification, I discovered it was a message expressing condolences for the passing of the father of a former colleague with whom I had maintained a close relationship for years. Shocked by the news, I sought my wife's opinion, who advised me to limit myself to sending money as a gesture of solidarity and not attend the funeral. Although the funeral home wasn't far, and I considered going to pay my respects, I decided to follow her recommendation, setting aside the unease this decision caused me. The main character of this narrative is a man who retired several years ago and recently turned 70. After having lived through numerous experiences over the decades, he found himself deep in reflection about something that seemed simple, a condolence message. Why did something so simple have such an impact on him? The main reason lay in the fact that after his retirement, he had lost almost all contact with his former colleagues. During the first few years of his retirement, he frequently attended social events organized by his former colleagues whenever he received an invitation, thinking they had made the effort to keep in touch. Out of gratitude, he accepted each invitation with dedication, trying to show his appreciation. However, each time he participated, he noticed that the response from his former co-workers wasn't what he had anticipated. Instead of a warm welcome or words of gratitude, he felt a certain discomfort in their glances and attitudes. Despite his genuine effort, he never received more contact or expressions of thanks after these meetings. This behavior led him to reconsider the true meaning of those invitations, sinking him into great disillusionment and frustration. In the end, he chose to reduce his participation in these events, as he felt they offered nothing relevant to his life. Like him, many people go through similar situations during their retirement, questioning how much they should engage in social activities related to past relationships. From what others in the same life stage have shared, these decisions can be emotionally complicated due to the bonds formed in the past. For this reason, today I want to share 3 key reasons why it's not advisable to attend social gatherings without thinking after retirement. The elderly phase represents a new beginning in our lives, where the most important thing should be well-being and happiness, both personally and as a couple. I trust that this reflection will be very helpful to everyone. Before we begin, would appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a like on this content. Without further delay, let's dive into today's topic: 3 reasons why we shouldn't attend social events thoughtlessly after retirement. The first reason is that when we leave a job we've held for many years, we begin an entirely new phase. While the sun will still rise the day after our retirement, the routine changes drastically. This is particularly noticeable for men who retire after a long work life, as well as for their wives, who perceive these changes even more acutely. No longer is it necessary to take work clothes out of the closet every day or follow a rigid lunch schedule. Moreover, the co-workers, with whom they used to spend more time than with their own families, become people they'll only meet again if a specific gathering is organized. Of course, there are situations where some people, after retiring, continue to maintain a close relationship with their former colleagues, even becoming close friends who enjoy recreational activities together. However, these cases are rare. For most, professional relationships naturally end when the professional phase concludes. Immediately after retirement, sporadic contact may still be maintained with former colleagues, perhaps to enjoy a drink together from time to time. At that moment, one might think, even though I've retired, after spending so many years working together and sharing more time with them than with my own family, these relationships won't fall apart so easily. While sharing the same work and professional space, there are numerous common topics to discuss, and mutual respect can be maintained because of the need to continue collaborating. However, when the working phase ends, along with the position once held, that shared connection also fades. From that point on, even those who once relied on you no longer do, and it's inevitable that they will gradually drift away. A few years ago, a close friend who retired went through a similar situation. In his office, there was a much younger colleague, but one who was very hardworking, capable, and enthusiastic, whom he had deeply valued during the years before his retirement. After retiring, this colleague often crossed his mind, so he decided to invite him for drinks on several occasions. In the early meetings, their conversations centered around work-related topics: how's the company, how's the job, how's so-and-so. These conversations were pleasant and fluid. However, as they met more often, he began to notice that these dialogues no longer had much to do with his current life. This caused both him, in asking the questions, and the young colleague, in answering, to feel uncomfortable. In the end, it is said that nowadays it is not only unusual to meet frequently, but even making a simple call to ask how someone is doing can be uncomfortable for former colleagues, leading to the avoidance of contact. As is the case here, the bonds formed in the workplace are like marks in the sand, destined to fade with time. However, news about all kinds of social events, such as weddings or funerals, arriving unexpectedly, can put retirees in an awkward situation. Despite having drifted apart, the time spent together leaves an impact, and not attending after receiving an invitation can create an uncomfortable feeling. At the same time, the question arises, should I attend if there is no longer a bond between us and we are unlikely to meet again? When it comes to a wedding, a joyful event related to children, even if one is not completely excited, attending usually doesn't cause much trouble. However, upon receiving news of a death, it becomes hard not to feel empathy for the suffering the close person might be going through, prompting deep reflection before deciding to go. Despite everything, these situations often leave a bittersweet feeling. In the moment, one feels grateful to have been present, but once the event passes, the relationship often cools and it is rare to maintain contact, even with close friends. If this happens with friends, how unlikely is it that someone would take the time to call a retired boss? Although the reality is different, for those who have made an effort to be present, the subsequent silence can cause not only melancholy but also a sense of disloyalty. In a society so united by mutual interests, many people form relationships based on what is advantageous to them. That's why, when detaching from this environment after retirement, it is crucial not to cling to these connections or let them hurt us. In a society where the law of the fittest prevails, and only the most capable survive, people tend to become more strategic. That's why the wisest approach is to let these situations pass with detachment and focus on living a peaceful and fulfilling life during retirement. If faced with confusing relationships that cause doubts about whether to attend social events, it is best to abstain from going. Those who are already retired or nearing this stage should review their accumulated phone contacts over time. By eliminating former co-workers or professional acquaintances, it is likely that only a few remain with whom they can genuinely have a relaxed conversation, including family members. Retirement begins a new phase of life in which it is essential to be prepared to face loneliness. Spending time with old colleagues usually leads to nostalgic conversations about a past that no longer impacts the present or future. According to retirement specialists, it is important, from the age of 50, and even more so after 60, to adjust personal relationships so that they align with this new stage. Before moving on, remember to like the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel for the best tips on attracting abundance and prosperity to your life. Let's continue. The key is knowing when the right time is. Human relationships don't develop instantly just because one wants them to. After retirement, even if one experiences loneliness or emptiness and desires to establish new connections, it is not easy to achieve them right away. Therefore, it is crucial that by the age of 50, and as retirement approaches, more emphasis and care is placed on family and those close to us who will be by our side in the later years. Even if one starts at a more advanced stage, there is no issue. It's okay. Because this moment of awareness is, in fact, the first step of all the ones you still have to take in your life. Secondly, except in the case of very close relationships, it is not essential to attend social events out of obligation. A friend of mine, a man in his 40s, was very popular in his community and used to attend any type of social gathering from a young age. As the eldest son in his family, he was invited to many celebrations and family events from childhood, to the point that attending these occasions became a custom in his life. When this man married later in life, his wedding was etched in everyone's memory. In the hall, the bride's guests numbered fewer than 100, while the groom's guests were close to 600. The place was so crowded that several photos were taken to include everyone present. However, years later, when speaking with me about that day, he confessed that, although at the time he felt proud of the large number of attendees, which surprised his parents and relatives, over time he realized that many of those relationships had faded. Today, from all those acquaintances, only a few still keep in touch with him. In contrast, his wife, who held a wedding with a small number of guests, still maintains constant communication with many of the attendees who were by her side. As she shared this with me, her face reflected nostalgia. This man, who had lived surrounded by many people throughout his life, began to understand that it was essential to focus on prioritizing and managing his personal relationships. In recent years, as part of this simplification process, he chose to drastically reduce his participation in social events, limiting himself to being minimally polite and leaving aside unnecessary formalities. In conclusion, occasions such as weddings or funerals, which mark key moments in someone's life, should be profound experiences rather than moments for showing off. When it comes to situations like celebrations or moments of mourning, involving a wide variety of relationships, the truth is that they are very personal moments and should unfold spontaneously. These occasions are meant to be lived by those who are close, either to share the joy or the sorrow. Ideally, they should be kept on a scale that respects the original purpose of offering congratulations or condolences. In our country, however, these moments have taken on a rather peculiar dimension in interpersonal relationships, drifting away from their original purpose. What should be shared only with close individuals ends up being spread to everyone around us, and once it becomes known, those who feel obligated to participate do so by contributing money as a form of congratulations or support. This phenomenon has caused a gradual distortion of the true meaning of these events. The belief that more people means better has taken root significantly, making our society highly conscious of how these celebrations are organized. Moreover, the scale of the event and the number of attendees are often seen as indicators of a person's status or reputation, leading to excessive display of formalities and appearances. With this approach, many people in our society have come to establish connections solely to guarantee their presence at such events, becoming highly sensitive to the size and number of guests. For example, in the context of a wedding, if one party has considerably more or fewer guests than the other, it can be uncomfortable, as it might be perceived as an imbalance. Something similar happens with funerals, although a large turnout might seem favorable. If the attendance is scarce and the atmosphere too serene, both the mourners and the guests might feel discomfort. When money is involved, such as in the envelopes handed out during celebrations or funerals, these matters become even more delicate. It's unfortunate, and even ironic, that in moments intended to share happiness or sorrow, people end up arguing about who contributed more or less, questioning whether these traditions really make sense. However, as we reach old age, a time when we should focus more on our well-being, it becomes essential to define our own rules for these situations and simplify our participation. This is especially important for those who are retired or planning a new phase in their lives. It is crucial to reconsider relationships we have maintained solely out of obligation. Upon retiring from the workforce, it is common for bonds with colleagues to fade. Over the years, it is also normal to lose contact with old friends or schoolmates with whom interactions were somewhat uncomfortable. Over time, these connections tend to disappear, but if not handled properly, you might still receive invitations or news related to events like funerals, leading to uncertainty about whether to attend or not. From this point onward, it's not necessary to worry too much about these circumstances. You can take simple and effective measures. If you previously received something from those people, it would be right to return a similar gesture. However, if there is no prior connection or future expectations with that person, you can let it go without feeling guilty. Of course, not all human interactions can be reduced to this logic. It won't be easy to find a direct answer. Although there may not be constant communication right now, if that person offered great support in the past or if we shared a close friendship, it would be ideal to use significant events to reconnect after so much time, enjoy a pleasant conversation, and reinforce the bond. However, if there was no close relationship or if I only knew them for professional reasons, it is unnecessary to participate in those events, especially if there is no personal connection or value. It is not something we should worry too much about. As I mentioned earlier, the excessive formality in these contexts has caused numerous inconveniences, and recently, there has been an increase in the preference for simplifying commemorative ceremonies. Disapproval of wakes with few attendees still reflects outdated thinking. In particular, after the pandemic, we have had the opportunity to reconsider traditions like weddings, funerals, or hospital visits, which we often followed more due to social influence than personal conviction. I know of a person who lost their mother during the pandemic. At that time, the news was shared exclusively through messages and phone calls, and only the immediate family was present at the wake. Others expressed their condolences through bank deposits and, in some cases, sent floral arrangements as a gesture of solidarity. At the wake, the family stayed united in a close setting in front of the mother's image, evoking memories, happy anecdotes, and important moments, as tears and laughter intertwined. By opting for a more intimate funeral, instead of worrying about receiving many attendees, they were able to pay a genuine tribute to the mother and experience a more emotional and meaningful moment. When significant events occur and many people make the effort to be present, this is usually highly appreciated. However, sharing those moments with family or close friends can be more meaningful and in tune with the main goal of such gatherings. Therefore, it is not essential to attend every event just because you've been invited. It is crucial to consider whether the relationship with that person is close enough to experience and connect emotionally during that special occasion. It's important to establish some order. Human interactions have become so limited that, in a third commemorative event, you don't even recover half the money offered as help. Years ago, many people saw these contributions as a gesture of mutual support. During agricultural times, when harvests were uncertain and alternated between periods of abundance and scarcity, a spirit of cooperation was promoted. In significant moments for a family in the neighborhood, others would often contribute small sums of money as a show of solidarity. With that money, celebrations such as weddings or funerals were held, occasions in which the same neighbors who had contributed participated. Later, if a need arose in another household, those who had been helped returned the gesture. At that time, communities were small, and the bonds between neighbors were strong, which helped this tradition thrive. This system of solidarity, called pumasai, gradually evolved into the current custom of giving gifts at events like weddings and funerals. Although the idea of offering help among close people is moving, today it doesn't always reflect reality. Modern human relationships tend to be superficial and scattered, leading some to receive support without the intention of returning it. This selfish behavior is common, and it often isn't due to an inability but rather a lack of a deep connection with those offering their help. There are situations where one person sees another as part of their inner circle, but that view is not shared, causing imbalances. Additionally, participating in all events and making financial contributions can result in significant spending if not properly managed. I know a woman, about 60 years old, who is deeply involved in various social gatherings. These used to be occasions for mutual support during significant moments. However, some people began to take advantage of the situation. After celebrating her children's weddings and facing the funerals of her parents and in-laws, one woman decided to cut all ties with the group. This caused great surprise, as it was known she had done the same in other social circles. Although she might have had personal reasons for distancing herself, her attitude left a negative impression. Some people join these groups only to get support when they need it, without the intention of giving anything back, which can be considered a form of moral fraud. These selfish behaviors disrupt the altruistic purpose of these gatherings, turning others' generosity into a tool for personal gain. Without formal agreements or commitments, it becomes difficult to demand accountability, but such attitudes end up harming trust and the sense of community. If not properly managed, anyone with bad intentions can destroy trust at any moment and focus solely on their own interests, damaging those with good intentions. Such unfortunate situations are quite common. For this reason, when balancing the money spent on social contributions and what has been received over time, many people don't even manage to recover half of what they contributed. To avoid situations like the one experienced by my acquaintance, it's not necessary to maintain ties with people who act as exploiters, especially in gatherings that aren't essential. Worrying too much about others' social activities only leads to unnecessary spending, as, over time, circumstances have evolved, and it is difficult to receive the same attention in return. As a result, participating in relationships or supporting social events of people outside our inner circle just to prevent, or just in case, is not advisable. Here are 3 reasons why attending these events indiscriminately should be avoided. Past connections tend to reconfigure after retirement, while new friendships emerge. It's not necessary to participate in social activities if there is no close relationship. Often, the money invested is not recovered, even halfway, due to the decline in social interactions. There's an old saying, when a minister's dog dies, even the most distant people come to offer condolences, but when the minister dies, no one shows up. This phrase illustrates an insensitive and pragmatic society, where people's actions are guided by their own interests. Since ancient times, it has been recognized that human nature tends to be selfish, always seeking personal gain. As long as there's something to gain, people will do their best to please others, but as soon as it no longer benefits them, they have no hesitation in cutting the relationship. I'm convinced that many of my readers will think, I shouldn't behave this way, I must live by ethical principles. The more people act with honesty and consideration, the more welcoming and trustworthy our community will be. However, there are still too many people who see interpersonal relationships solely as a tool to gain advantages, diminishing their value. It's likely that, upon hearing this reflection, they might also think it's a waste of time and resources to maintain relationships with selfish and superficial people. This waste encompasses both the time and money we invest in those interactions. Upon reaching retirement, it's crucial to carefully plan not only our time but also our finances, ensuring a good quality of life in the coming years. We can no longer depend on a fixed monthly salary. Instead, life is financed by the savings accumulated for old age, retirement compensation, and the small pensions received each month. According to the plans we have for our later years, it's crucial to make prudent use of our resources. For this reason, dear subscribers, I hope you don't waste your time and money on human relationships that don't add value and prove exhausting, like the ones we've discussed today. Today's conversation has been rather long, but I'll leave you with one last piece of advice that I hope will be useful. How can we establish positive human relationships that bring us happiness in our retirement years, rather than connections that drain us, like those focused solely on personal interests or past work relationships? One way to achieve this is by joining local communities, such as clubs, meeting groups, or activities organized in the area where we live. This option is excellent, as we age, much of our time will be spent near our home. If we manage to make genuine friendships and establish valuable connections close to home, it would be the ideal scenario. To be more specific, I suggest you explore options at community centers, cultural spaces, libraries, or initiatives promoted by local authorities, such as the municipality or town hall. Although it may feel a bit uncomfortable at first, joining activities that align with your interests is an excellent choice. For example, if you have hobbies such as sports, reading, music, or playing instruments, it's very likely that you'll meet other people with similar hobbies, interests, and even values, who also participate in these activities. Building a connection with someone who shares your interests in this environment could lead to a strong friendship, where you'll share conversations and experiences, enjoying the golden years together. As the years go by, having valuable people around us, with whom we can share authentically and enjoy moments of laughter, has a significant effect on the quality of our lives. That's why, even if you feel it's too late to start new friendships, I encourage you to do so with optimism. The key is to find people who get along with you, who can joke without complications, and also share sincere emotions. Finally, I'd like to remind you of something important. If you receive an invitation to a social event and you're unsure about attending because you don't feel comfortable or you don't think it's relevant, it's better to save your time and money. Both are very valuable resources at this stage of life. Use them on what truly matters: your family, your happiness, and most importantly, your well-being. Spend those precious resources on activities that truly add to your days and bring you joy, so you can fully enjoy life in your later years. And with that, we come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. We really appreciate you being with us all this time. We'll see you in the next video with more interesting topics. I wish you a full life, filled with happiness and special moments in this beautiful stage. Thank you very much and see you soon.